Although the Royal Navy had over a dozen in the Mediterranean, only 3 were in home waters. One of them was Motor Torpedo Boat 102. MTB 102 was the brainchild of the Vosper Shipbuilding Company. Her sleek design and firepower were unmatched, and the Royal Navy's MTB fleet expanded swiftly from 3 to 60.
This was the first small boat to carry 2 21-inch torpedoes. Previously, they'd been 18-inch torpedoes. They were fired on the small craft by an explosive charge, like a big gun in effect, but they just fell out of the end of the barrel and flopped in the water, and off they went. Inside them, they had a little diesel engine, and they ran at somewhere around 40 knots, and they had a range of about 5,000 yards.
But it wasn't just the weapon system that made this vessel unique. The designer, Peter Duquesne, was an aircraft pilot as well as a shipbuilder. By streamlining the boat's hull like a plane's fuselage, he increased its speed by 10 knots. Armed with torpedoes and depth charges, the Motor Torpedo Boat fleet was designed to attack warships and submarines. But their true identity was kept under wraps. As far as the Germans were concerned, they were simply CMBs, coastal motorboats. Of all the MTBs, 102 is undoubtedly the most celebrated. It served throughout the war and has the unique claim of being the smallest vessel ever to serve as a Royal Navy flagship. In spring 1940, the mass evacuation of troops from Dunkirk was being overseen from the destroyer HMS Keith. But on June 1st, the Keith was bombed by the Luftwaffe and had to be abandoned.
Admiral Wake Walker, who was on board Keith and in command at sea, then transferred his staff to the nearest naval vessel, which happened to be MTB 102.
A flagship needs an admiral's flag. The torpedo boat didn't have one, so they improvised.
The crew actually made an admiral's flag from an Admiralty-issue dishcloth, which is an off-white square dishcloth with a red line woven through the middle of it. They then painted in the other half of the Red Cross, which then gives you the flag of Admiralty, and 2 balls on it to show there was a rear admiral on board. So for the last 3 days of the Dunkirk evacuation, 102 was tearing in and out of Dunkirk harbour with the Admiralty dishcloth at the masthead.
Four years later, 102 escorted Winston Churchill and General Eisenhower on an inspection tour of the ships assembled for D-Day off the English coast. This celebrated British motor torpedo boat is now the last still operational.
She is an absolutely fantastic vessel. It's just amazing that one small ship could have done so much in its lifetime. It's absolutely incredible. I still personally can't come to terms with what this boat has been through in its history.
MTB